Great to hear from JP Sebastian. Now, when you know better, you do better, and that's words from Maya Angelou. Now, with that spirit, in her guide, entrepreneur and author Fatuma Abdullah set out to create a character and set of stories to inspire young African girls. This is to educate and give them a moral compass and to clear a clear sense of identity in this world.
Like many South African mothers, Fatuma Abdullah struggled to find a doll that her daughter could properly relate to and that was representative of her ethnicity. Enter Akiki dolls, the brainchild of Fatuma, in an attempt to level the playing field and create diversity in the toy industry with the aim of grooming young, proud African girls.
As the daughter of an entrepreneur, Fatuma knows the risk in new ventures, but once she committed to it full-time, the rewards soon followed.
Fatuma, who is Akiki?
Akiki is an African girl. She's traveling across Africa. She's about 5 years old. She's supposed to represent your typical African girl. And that's why I want her to entertain and to teach our kids, because I believe that is lacking in the market. We don't have a character who our kids can grow up with. And when I was thinking for my daughter, I was like, there's no character who you can grow up with, and also, most importantly, a character that looks like you.
And I hear that her name has a special meaning. Tell us more about it.
Akiki is Swahili for ruby, the precious stone, and it's also associated with nobility, courage, and self-confidence. And I believe those are qualities we would like for our kids, for them to be courageous to take upon any task, for them to be self-confident. They need that positive affirmation, which is what I want to do with Akiki.
Aza, what do you love about the dolls and the books that your mom created?
I like about that she's brown like me. She's got poofy kinky hair. I like her colorful dresses. I like about the books, it's interesting to read. It's about an African girl traveling around Africa. She's going to Kenya, Botswana, Drakensberg, all those places. That's what I like about Akiki.
Akiki's character also lives in a book series that you created. How did this come about?
So when we read to our kids, what type of books are we reading? And I thought, when do we celebrate our African children? Because we are reading about everybody else, so where are we? So for me, I decided, okay, Akiki needs to be born. When you read books, you're taken to places, but at the same time, I think it's very important that you learn something. So in all my books, I try and put a moral to the story. And with my very first book, especially short stories, it was about when you find something that doesn't belong to you, what do? You need to return it back. So Akiki finds a way of how they can find the owner of the watch. So that's basically the foundation of Akiki.
For the local fashion industry, Akiki is a once-in-a-generation opportunity to awaken young minds to the splendor of African design.
So Bridget, tell me, why did you decide to get involved with Akiki dolls?
The owner of Akiki dolls is a lady I met in a female entrepreneurship setting. While we were networking, that's how I discovered the doll that she's selling. And Akiki travels to the Drakensberg, to Kenya, to Joburg, everywhere. And we wanted to let that idea also filter through the clothes. So she said, yeah, let's do some items which will present Africa in a doll that, is new right now to the country.
You are responsible for her fashion choices, so tell me what goes into deciding what she wears.
The first one is the fact that my target customer is a little girl who is sitting at home wanting something very pretty, something very colorful, pink, yellow, blues, greens. And we are in Africa, and those colors actually applies all our cultures. It's very important whatever we put it in is striking and attractive. Then we also have to remember keeping the fabrics very safe, so things that will not hurt the kids or dye anything within their clothing. And then also remember that we have to use fabrics that allow us to sell the dress at a cost not too far, from the doll.
What has the response been like from both parents and kids?
I gave my daughter the doll, and she went to class with it. And as soon as she went to class, all the kids just swarmed right. So they're like, oh, look at her hair, look at her. They look at the doll, she's brown, her hair is curly. And for the other kids as well, it's also like, oh yeah, this is different. And different in terms of nice, interesting. So I think in terms of exposing children's minds, especially at play, this is where to start. With the books, it's been good. Parents have enjoyed it because I think It's also different from your normal, regular books that you find in your retail shops. In terms of Africa, it's about time we started embracing our local authors.
How do parents and kids go about getting the Akiki dolls and books?
The books and the dolls are all online. They're on my website, www.akikidolls.com, and also Facebook and Instagram, which are my handles at Akiki Dolls.
Fatuma's vision is for Akiki to become a globally recognized source of African pride, values, and an inspiration to get the continent reading.